When we talk about power, wealth, and society, the Gilded Age doesn't just entertain, it exposes secrets that history almost forgot. But one question has haunted me through all of Season 3. Will George and Bertha Russell's marriage survive, or are we watching a slow-motion collapse before our eyes? And if you think this is just fiction, think again. History has a way of rewriting itself, and sometimes it's even messier than HBO could imagine, because behind the glamour, the balls, and the duels over social influence lies a truth stranger. Then drama. The real-life couple inspiring Bertha and George, Alva and William Vanderbilt, played a game of marriage, betrayal, and revenge that could make the show's plot look tame. So, buckle up, because we're about to uncover the secrets that the camera never fully shows. And yes, stick around, because by the end you'll see just how ruthless social survival could be, and why history might suggest that George is already doomed. Let's start with Season 3. The Russells' marriage is on the rocks, and not just a little. Every gesture, every glance between George and Bertha feels loaded with distance, resentment, and unspoken grudges. We all thought maybe, just maybe, George would come around after that near-death incident, right? Wrong. That bullet didn't mend hearts. It exposed them. The railroad tycoon made it clear that appearances mattered more than love, and that Gladys's marriage was the straw that broke the camel's back. And yet, there's hope. Or at least, there should be. Because if you think George's distance and self-blame are the ultimate test, you haven't met history. The real Alva Vanderbilt didn't just survive a failing marriage, she weaponized it. She turned betrayal, public humiliation, and societal scorn into a plan that would rewrite her family's power forever. Here's the twist. Bertha isn't pure fiction. She's a reflection of Alva, a woman who clawed her way into high society despite being an outsider. But let's be real. The Russell storyline simplifies things. George is a self-made man, obsessed with wealth and empire, supportive yet stubborn. Alva's husband, William, was born into money, lavish, unfaithful, and completely blind to the social clause he provoked. While the show frames marital tension as emotional chess, real life was more like a war game. And Alva? She played to win. William Vanderbilt's affairs were shameless. Public theater outings in Paris with Nellie Newrear? Check. Ignoring his wife at home while society whispered? Double check. It was the last straw. And Alva didn't just endure humiliation. She plotted a divorce that would shock New York society to its core. December 1894. She filed. The rumor mill said even her lawyer begged her to reconsider. But she was resolute. And by March 1896, she walked away with custody, millions, properties, and a freedom that society considered scandalous. Now here's where it gets delicious. Most divorcees back then were social outcasts. Invitations vanished, whispers replaced congratulations. But Alva? She flipped the script. She married her daughter Consuelo to a duke, turning herself into the mother of a duchess. Suddenly, being a divorcee didn't matter. Society wanted access, influence, and power. And she had it all. Genius, ruthless, iconic. So now ask yourself, if the real story of Alva and William played out like this, could George and Bertha survive Season 4? Could George's distance, combined with Bertha's social ambitions, spiral into betrayal? Or might the show rewrite history to keep the marriage intact? And what about power dynamics, societal manipulation, and personal ambition? Could a single child, a ball, or even a pregnancy shift the balance of this fragile empire? Before we dive into what might happen in Season 4, hit that subscribe button. Because if you thought the Russell drama was intense, wait until we uncover how real-life events could shape the show's future, and why history doesn't play fair. So far, we've seen George and Bertha's marriage hanging by a thread, and we've glimpsed Alva Vanderbilt's ruthless strategy to survive scandal and seize power. But here's the kicker. What she did after the divorce wasn't just personal. It was strategic genius. And if the show takes a cue from history, Season 4 could get even messier. After her divorce, Alva didn't retreat quietly. No, she leaned into society's gaze. Invitations? She created her own. Influence? She expanded it. Her daughter's marriage to the Duke of Marlborough wasn't just a family affair, it was a masterstroke. Alva turned societal disdain into admiration. By connecting herself to the highest echelons of Europe, she transformed a personal humiliation into political leverage. She proved that even as a divorcee, she could be untouchable. Now compare that to Bertha. She's already showing signs of that same resilience, supporting divorcees, shaping society, throwing her influence into events that elevate her standing. But George is still in the background, distracted, distant, and possibly blind to how far Bertha is willing to go. Will he ever catch up? Or will history repeat itself, showing us that ambition sometimes outweighs love? Imagine Season 4 exploring this fully. George, preoccupied with business and society, may unknowingly create the perfect environment for tension to explode. Will he start spending more time away from home? Could that spiral into betrayal or even infidelity, echoing William Vanderbilt's mistakes? And if he does, will Bertha respond with Alva-level strategy, using power and influence to reclaim her position, or even surpass it? The stakes aren't just personal, they're social. The Vanderbilt-inspired plotline reminds us that in high society, every gesture, every ball, every marriage is a chess piece. One misstep, and your empire, social, financial, and familial, could crumble. And Bertha's been playing chess while George is busy with checkers. Now, here's a question. For you, if you were in Bertha's shoes, would you forgive George, or would you follow Alva's example and take control of your destiny? Comment below. I want to know who you think would win in this power struggle, George's stubbornness or Bertha's ambition. And here's the loop that will haunt you until the next episode. History isn't done teaching lessons. If the show follows the real Alva Vanderbilt story, we could see betrayal, divorce, and societal power plays that dwarf anything in Season 3. But the writers could also flip it, giving George redemption, keeping the marriage intact, or introducing entirely new chaos. One thing is certain. The tension between personal desire and public perception is far from resolved. Stick around because in the next part, we'll break down exactly how Alva's revenge strategy worked and what that could mean for Bertha's social dominance in Season 4. You'll see how a single divorce, a single marriage alliance, and a dash of cunning can change the entire course of history, fictional or real. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the reveal.